Good time zones, my Sakonauts. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as the Witch of Tylwyth Teg, and today we are reading through Why Kitchens Are Sacred Places in the House Witch by Aaron Murphy Hiscock. If we haven't met before, I'd like to welcome you to my channel. It's very nice to meet you. If you have been here before, if you have been here before, it is so lovely to see you back. I love you guys. Welcome, Brianna. I'm glad you can make the hop over. Also, good morning, Katarina. Super awesome to see you. All right. I'd like to start this morning with a grounding ritual to start your day. This starts in your domain, so if you've not created a domain, you might want to sign up for my newsletter, which is linked below in the description. If I clear my throat during the meditation, I'm really sorry. Sit with your hands in your lap and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it for a moment. And as you let it out completely through your mouth, let go of the tension from the night and the grogginess of the morning. Take another deep breath in. And as you breathe in, imagine you are breathing in pure love. As you breathe out, imagine you are breathing out forgiveness. Take a third deep breath in, and as you do so, imagine a light coming in at the top of your head. It enters at the top of your head and spreads down over your face, neck, and shoulders. This cleansing light now expands along your back, down your legs, and out through your feet. It is as if cleansing light is a constant flow of soothing energy entering from your head and passing out through the arches of your feet. You are just outside the door of your domain. The air is crisp and cool. The evergreens sway slightly in the breeze, and the ground has a large patch of moss at your feet. Step barefoot onto the moss. Feel how soft it is. Feel the solid ground underneath. That light coming into your head can now be translated into energy that you can send out your feet. Convert the light into roots and send the roots out the bottoms of your feet and deep into the earth, as deep as you can. The soil is fresh, easy to toil, easy to carve a path down. Feel how anchored you are, how close to the earth. Reach as far down as you can. The earth hugs your roots comfortably, no matter how sharp or curly, no matter how many times they split off. Slowly pull the roots back up the way they came. Your roots slither through the dark, the soil filling in its wake. Pull the roots back into your feet, convert it back to the light, and let the light filter through you and out the top of your head. Take one more deep breath in and begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. When you are ready, open your eyes. Welcome. If you're just joining us, we just did our morning grounding ritual. If you are interested in more meditations like this one, but maybe a little bit more exploratory, you might want to look at subscribing to my Patreon, where I will be releasing 2 a month to help you on your supernatural and spiritual journey. Until then, you can join me for coffee in the mornings here on YouTube. Stream Frogs got some answers and my worries were thankfully for naught. Oh, good. The worrisome news also worried me. Whatever that news was for those things. Absolutely. Okay, so what I've been doing for the past week or so is pulling a card from the Mystic Mondays Tarot deck, which is a wonderful self-care deck. And we will see what the deck has to say this morning. Okay, the 9 of Wands. It was technically reversed, but I don't know if that is a thing or what's up. Okay, let's look. 9 of Wands, 9 of Cups, Pentacles, Swords, Wands. Drudgery from the past may leave you feeling paranoid that people are out to get you. This leaves you unwilling to make a long-term commitment, with fears of being trapped by responsibility. You have gotten this far on your own, but you are lacking the skills that will take you to the next level. I disagree. Look for someone who has skills that will complement yours, whether it be a financial planner or a creative designer. Cough, cough. Survival mode has you in a state where you think that you are under attack when nothing dangerous is actually happening. These fears could also be protecting you from moving forward, preferring that you stay in your comfort zone. Make peace with your fears so that you can move forward towards your big dreams. Yeah. Also, I think of this card as like you kind of need a break to take care of yourself for a little while. Battle has left you weary. So there's that to take into consideration. Okay. Oh, it is no longer Monday or Tuesday. It is now Wednesday. What did I work on? I worked on Unnatural for 2 hours, and coffee is commencing. I'm almost done with it. We'll see how it goes. Okay. How are you guys doing this morning? Oh, my tummy is grumbling because I've been up a little bit longer than I usually am up. Oh. How is this morning treating you? We got the House Witch book to read. We're going to talk about kitchen stuff today. I kind of hope that Spence can hop over, because I think she would be the embodiment of what is happening in her kitchen right now. How did you guys feel about that card? Are you afraid of the other foot dropping? Impeachment trial. That I missed. But we'll make coffee. Not fully awake yet, but we'll make coffee. Okay. I have a bit of a witchy question. And no, you can ask it right here, my friend. What is on your mind? Also, hi, Nicole. Wonderful Nicole. One of my favorite people. Woo! I'm gonna try and summon Spence. I talk about kitchen stuff today. Oh, yay. Yes, you heard your name. Yes, absolutely. I only feel okay at the moment if I wear a Horus necklace right now. That now is a dangerous time. So if that makes you feel okay, then wear it, my friend. Consider it like try to think of it like a protection talisman. Oh, the question is higher up. Okay, sorry. In witchcraft and such, what does Horus stand for? What could it mean if I feel super drawn to that deity? Horus... the son of Osiris and Isis, the divine child of the triad. As I recall, he is the god of wisdom. If I remember correctly. I was not a follower of Horus, but I believe he's the god of wisdom. He's the falcon-headed... Damn you, Encyclopedia Britannica. Please tell me what you're a god of. Peregrine Falcon. View the multiple facets of reality. He was most often depicted as a falcon, most likely a lanner or a peregrine, or as a man with a falcon head. He was usually... I don't care what he looks like. Just tell me your domain. The pyramid text described the nature of the pharaoh and different characters as both Horus and Osiris. The pharaoh as Horus in life became the pharaoh as Osiris in death, where he was united with the other gods. New incarnations of Horus succeeded the deceased pharaoh on earth in the form of new pharaohs. Born to the goddess Isis. If I remember correctly, it's wisdom. It's just telling me the stories. It's not telling me what he's a god of. That does not help me. Does not help Braun on that either. I could be wrong. He has one eye of each of his parents, absolutely. Horus possesses conventional powers of the Egyptian gods. He has superhuman strength, stamina, and resistance to harm and conventional injury. Well, yeah. Egyptian Captain America, I guess. It doesn't matter what he looks like. It all depends on what he cooks like. Absolutely. That gives a whole new meaning to inheriting something from your parents. I kid. Thanks for the info. The Eye of Horus is an ancient Egyptian symbol, of protection and royal power from deities. And the mystic eye is the Eye of Horus. Was originally the sky god, but also known as the war god, hunter's god, god of kinship, and etc. He played the role as the protector and ruler of Egypt. Yes. So that is protector of rulers. So marking it as a protection amulet, totally a thing. If that deity is working with you, I recommend partaking if you can, paying homage in whatever way you can. I suppose I just have a subconscious need for protection. This being a mythical explanation of the moon's phases and was healed by the god Thoth. The figure of the restored eye, the Wedjat eye, became a powerful amulet. Horus is also associated sometimes as son, sometimes as partner, with the ancient cow goddess Hathor, which is often depicted with cow's horns, sometimes with cow's ears. What is the purple symbol in my post? I didn't type that. There's a purple symbol? Oh, the purple symbol seems to be a shrug. His eye. Horus is the god of the sky. Among other things, but yes. The god of gods. Also the protector of pharaohs. Yeah. The kitchen as a sacred space. Chapter 6. So, yeah. If it helps you to Sure, I'm not a pharaoh. But protection is protection, man. I'm sure he will. Horus thinks you're royalty. I would pay homage. Yeah, best not to argue. I would pay homage in some way if I could, just as a thanks for protecting you. And burning incense would be perfect. Something, because God of the sky, right? So, yeah, burning incense would be ideal, I think. I tend to reset my stuff about once a week or once a month. But if it really does make you feel safe, then maybe every day. Whatever makes you feel protected. But I found that Egyptian gods and Hindu gods are real glad to work with you. Like if you're willing to work with them, like you just give a little offering and they're super happy to. I followed Bast for a really long time. Bast was my bae. I should not have more coffee. That would be terrible. Okay, so are there any other questions regarding working with deities? I've been working with Thoth for ages. Works wonders when I'm stuck with writing. Absolutely. So that also might explain it. And that might have something to do with it anyway. Kind of like a gateway. When it rains, it pours, right? So I started by working with Ganesh, and then that went to Kali, and then that went to Saraswati. Sketchbook prompt that won't spiral into another 2-hour research project. Draw a falcon head. Draw a picture of Horus. God, basically falcon, peregrine falcon, or a tree. If we're talking Horus things, then I would say do the thing. Do the thing with the... Stop picking this up. Stop picking that up. Maybe I should grab a drink. Maybe that's the thing I should do. And then when I come back, we'll talk about kitchens. Because we're like 24 minutes in, and I haven't talked about kitchens yet. I will be right back. Hi, Goku. Okay. Don't even worry about it, man. Bring your questions and your concerns and your all of that stuff. That's what these streams are for, man. I could read this by myself, but why? Why? Jumping back over to the impeachment, I'll be back. Thank you. Usually it's Raven or Katarina, yeah. Back to kitchen for bread time. Okay. Back to kitchen as a sacred space. In today's homes, often the only place that approximates a hearth is the kitchen. This isn't surprising when you consider that the kitchen plays a central role in everyday life, being the place where food is prepared and eaten. House witch spirituality incorporates domestic activity of all kinds, and most domestic activity is based or originates in the kitchen, so it makes sense to establish a spiritual element there. The power of the kitchen. It can be hard to shake the mindset drilled into North American culture by the technological improvements in mid to late 20th century. Advertising dating from the 1950s to the 1960s repeatedly targeted housewives and mothers as people who deserve to spend more time out of the kitchen to live a real life. Inventions in prepackaged foods to shorten time spent in the kitchen and reduce energy devoted to kitchen and domestic-related activity have somehow led us to believe that the kitchen is a place where we ought not to be. In a way, this is sad. It suggests that the kitchen is a place to avoid, a place where we ought to spend the least amount of time possible. We have come to regard food preparation and domestic activity as things that have to be done before we get to do other rewarding things in life. As a friend said to me the other day, we have to learn to understand that running a household is not only work, it's valid work. It's not something that gets squeezed in after 6 o'clock. It's not taking away from other things if we do it between 9 and 5. And she's right. The feminist revolution of the latter half of the 20th century has succeeded in opening the workplace to women, but unfortunately, in doing so, it suggested that the domestic management was somehow inferior to work done elsewhere. When establishing a home-based spirituality, it's important to examine your feelings about the kitchen and the work done there. Even if you choose another room or area to be your symbolic hearth, the function of the kitchen doesn't change, and so much of domestic activity is based there that your feelings about it will certainly influence home-based spiritual work. Kitchen history. The kitchen hasn't always been a separate room in the house. Originally, it was nothing more than a cooking fire brought indoors, with the other shelter-based activity carrying on around it. As the kitchen evolved into a specialized area, it became its own room, with separate areas for storage of food, equipment, and activity. The room became further separated into a hot kitchen and a cold kitchen, where space permitted. The hot kitchen containing the fireplace and the hearth for roasting meats and making hot foods. The cold kitchen, a place of lower temperature where foods such as pastry, jellied foods, and dairy were kept or prepared. Mixed feelings indeed, Spence. Mixed feelings indeed. Older kitchens were larger than the ones we use today, as they encompassed a wide variety of pursuits. Apart from cooking activities such as eating, washing, laundry, taking baths, candle making, spinning and weaving, sewing, food preserving in all forms, nursing the sick, child care, lessons, and countless other pursuits all took place in the kitchen of the average home. As the 20th century saw the invention of time and labor-saving devices, the kitchen began to shrink in size as less time was spent there and activities were relocated to specific activity-associated areas. The trend in downsizing began to reverse in the late 20th century. Today's kitchen designs feature layouts that have returned to an open plan arrangement, allowing families to congregate in a larger room and share time together. There's a reason we see kitchens being designed with large work or relaxation spaces adjacent and open to the actual kitchen area and computer nooks in the kitchen itself. I think I'd have fewer mixed feelings if I hadn't avoided meeting, went through the transformation very young. Yeah. With less time spent in the home in general, families seek to make the most of their time together. It makes sense that families come together in the kitchen or adjacent open-plan rooms while a meal is being prepared. The heart of a home. Kitchens have always changed in size and equipment according to the needs of the era, and yet throughout it all, they are continually associated with domesticity and the heart of the home. The kitchen is a key communal area in most homes. It is a meeting place, a social area, a point of communication, a place where food is stored, prepared, and consumed. All the related equipment for these activities is stored here as well. Don't dismiss this chapter if your physical analog or spiritual hearth is located elsewhere in your home. The function the kitchen serves in a family's everyday life links it strongly to your hearth and home-based spirituality. The kitchen is the one room in the house that sees a constant stream of activity. It is seen less so nowadays, what with the use of appliances that can store and prepare food in a fraction of the time once necessary, as well as the widespread use of prepared and prepackaged food. Historically, however, the kitchen was in constant use. It served as the headquarters of the home, a staging place for maintaining the running of the household. It was the location of the pantry and was adjacent to the storage place of foodstuffs. It was where the cooking fire resided, which required constant supervision. It was where food preparation and preservation took place, and in many cases it was where the food was consumed as well. In terms of hearthcraft, the kitchen as a place of physical nourishment is a logical parallel to the spiritual center of your home. If this is true for you, then setting up an altar or shrine to represent your spiritual hearth in the kitchen makes perfect sense. If your kitchen is poorly laid out or a place of stress for you, think about what creates an atmosphere more conducive to a spiritual environment, or setting up an altar or shrine there can help you redirect, purify, or otherwise make the energy of your home, your kitchen more appealing and make your experience there a happier and more rewarding one. If you hate your kitchen, anything that might help should be tried at least once. If in the end the kitchen is just absolutely not the heart of your home, no matter how you look at it, don't fight it. Go with wherever you feel drawn to. Do your best to open yourself to the spiritual aspect of the work done in the kitchen by employing some of the techniques in this book. I also have a set of bells. I dry herbs by hanging them, and I have a set of bells that I use to break up bad chi, because lots of violence has happened in that kitchen, and I want to cleanse it of that bullshit. Do y'all think putting my computer workspace in my kitchen would be too much stuff going on? Nope. Like, will it add to the energy? It will add to the energy, but I think they will benefit from each other. If your office is in the kitchen, just be aware that other people will probably come in and like talk to you and stuff. Most of these books seem to condense stuff, yeah. I've moved my laptop computer into the kitchen before, and it's really helpful sometimes. Yeah. Balancing it on glasses. Used to do homework in the kitchen, right?
So we can talk about kitchen shrines and altars. I think were I in a spot like that, and I like to write there, though it's cold now, because time of year, right? There are so many different kinds and uses for kitchens that will depend on the house, the size of the house, who lives there, and how rich they are. Amen to that. I've been holding up in my bedroom with blankets and heaters. Were I in your position, I would probably make like a temporary office. So like I do now, like I have a kitchen table in there so I was in my kitchen for the first like 6 months of my YouTube career. And you can make a little shrine on the east corner of your kitchen to Ganesh. Make sure he's sitting. And he's got the fruit in his hand, and there's the mouse. Like, yeah. I would probably offer him money or fruit. Money or fruit. Fire, flowers sometimes. And just a little figure. It doesn't have to be like a big thing. They're cheap. So if he's like half sitting and half crouching, no. I don't think so. What page are we on? We're on 105. We're about to start kitchen shrines and altars. I don't think they would compete. I think there can be more than one hearth in a home. And each room can become a temple, right? So, okay, kitchen shrines and altars. While your entire kitchen is or can be a sacred space, see the discussion on sacred space in Chapter 2, creating a defined location within the kitchen that serves as a sacred space can help you focus on the spiritual aspect of hearthcraft, while using the existing space in your kitchen in a practical fashion. These defined places or zones provide you with a touchstone of sorts, a place or thing that you can use to represent the greater whole. The term altar can evoke the concept of something formal and untouchable. In neo-pagan usage, an altar generally means simply a physical space used for magical work or worship. It provides a place of focus. A shrine is generally a specific site set up to honor an entity or a principle. Do you have to figure out which you're using in Hearthcraft? No, the word isn't important. A lot of time, your altar or shrine will be a place that symbolizes or otherwise represents your connection with or to a deity, or your concept of the sacred. What you call it isn't important. In this book, both words are used to mean the same thing, the special spot in your kitchen or elsewhere that you have chosen to house meaningful objects and symbols, which stimulates and supports your ongoing spiritual practice. I would probably so my Ganesh is just a little bit smaller than this box. And I took a cardboard box and painted it and taped it in such a way so that it looked like it had doors open, like my boots are on. And then I scalloped the top. And you could probably pop that in the corner of the window. And it doesn't have to be big, just like a little Amazon box. If you order small things, will probably work just fine. Oh my gosh, all this hair I'm shedding like a dog. Hey, I see you. It is essential to have a... Is it essential? No, wait. If you intend to use it as a place to display meaningful objects connected with the hearth deity or house spirit, and as a place to leave offerings, it's probably a shrine. If you intend to use it primarily as a place for some sort of eternal flame, as somewhere to put short-term spiritual items as you work with them over a short-term basis, including magical items such as sachets or empowered symbols and objects, it's probably an altar. Shrines are a place of offering. An altar is a place for working. Altars can be designed as more active and projective, whereas shrines tend to be more passive and receptive. Doesn't matter if you can't define or clearly separate what you're setting up or what you intend to do with them. No. It also doesn't matter if you set one up and it slowly takes on the characteristics of the other, or if you set up one place and do double duty as both. My shrine upstairs to Hecate kind of double duties as both. I have a shrine set up on the altar where I do work and also pay homage. Let's see. In the end, what you're doing is creating a space to serve as a physical point of reference for your spiritual work, an interface for your communication with the divine. A home for the home. An altar or shrine is a created sacred space, an area set apart to honor a concept or force, a deity or spirit, or to represent your connection to the divine. Both can represent emotions, commitments, or just about anything you desire or require. A space such as this in the hearth, the spiritual heart of the home, stands as a formal physical representation of the spiritual hearth. It provides a home for the symbolic hearth. A formal physical representation of the hearth makes it easier for you to visualize it and interact with it. People usually find it easier to work with a tangible representation than an abstract concept, no matter how strongly you may feel that abstract concept's presence. People like to mark the places they consider sacred in some way, partially in honor of what they feel is sacred, but also to remind themselves of that sanctity and to create an analogy in the physical world. Is it essential to have a kitchen altar or shrine? Well, yes and no. You can certainly cultivate and manage a spiritual environment without one, but it's a lot easier to do if you have a physical place where you can focus your attention now and again. Mine, I guess if there was such a place, it is above the sink where the window is. Unrelated. Why must taking my multivitamin, a thing I do not to be depressed, make me feel like I'm going to throw up for a freaking hour? Because they're horse pills and they taste vile. That's why. I'm sorry, babe. Do you take HCl? Is that your vitamin that you take to not be nauseous by your vitamins? Vitamin stomach is a thing. I'm not doubting that one freaking bit. Vitamin stomach is a thing. Working from home, so having zero travel time before and after work, making breakfast and cooking dinner are my way of switching between relax and work mode. That's perfect. That's excellent. It is a place of transition, I think. Okay, you can certainly cultivate and manage a spiritual environment without one, but it's a lot easier to do if you have a physical place where you can focus your attention now and again. A place where you can collect certain special things that symbolize or remind you of a connection to the sacred principles in your life is a unique thing. I still take Flintstone vitamins. You know what? Small blessings. I take gummies. I take biotin gummies specifically, but not that I want this to grow out, but I want this to grow out. I take a liquid vitamin, and I take about a fourth of the recommended dose. Oh, my cat. Hi, doll. So lovely to see you, darling. You can always break your vitamins in half, but I would just go with the kids' vitamin, like Nicole said. And said it's going to be a little less hitting your system. I take a woman's one a day with food, and I don't eat a lot of fats for breakfast. Check with your doctor. Getting ready for another stream today, but wanted to stop by. Your thing is at 2, right? I would love to join you if that's the thing I can do. Productivity, yo. Buttered toast is normally enough on my stomach, but again, I'm not taking a full dose of vitamins, and that can be a lot for a tummy. Have a banana with it. Oh, or maybe some yogurt. Yeah, something heavy. Sometimes a banana is vitamin enough. Let's see. It's simply easier for most people to have a physical representation of what's going on in their heads and spirits. Oh, you're getting ready for Lisa's. No longer streaming on your own channel. I respect that. I like your daily videos. Maybe one of these days Lisa will accept me back. I also take a probiotic and allergy med at the same time. I'm glad it's not just me who gets sick, though. Last time I asked someone, they were like, well, why? Yeah, some people can take like a whole handful of pills all at once. I cannot. And I take 5 pills every night. So, like, my morning stuff gets me. Like, sometimes I'll take it and then I'll get medicine stomach, which is kind of like you get a little bit of heartburn, but it has like a chemical feel to it. I feel you, Spence. I do. Let's see. Human beings are somewhat magpie-like in that shiny things attract them and make them feel good. It's gratifying to have a designated place to burn candles or incense, or to leave tiny offerings to your house spirits or the universe in Thanksgiving, or to put the first leaf of autumn or a violet of spring. Maybe I'll make a little frog go in my kitchen. Of course, my husband might be like, what the fuck? You do nothing in your kitchen. Maybe spread them out like your vitamin with lunch or even dinner, because you absorb a lot while you sleep. I only take migraine pills when I need them, migraine pills, and sometimes the painkiller is specific for menstrual pain. I get stomach aches too. Yep. Try to get gummies whenever possible. The day they came out with gummy Prozac, I'm sad. Hey. Freaking cat knocking stuff off the table. He's probably saying, I'm hungry, damn it. But not actually coming to me. He's just trying to get my attention. See, a kitchen, shrine, or altar doesn't need to be something large. And that's a good thing, because space in a kitchen is generally already at a premium. Some may already consider their counters or stovetop to be sacred space, and that's fine. But one of the benefits of creating a single focal point in the kitchen to serve as a shrine is that it keeps your spiritual or magical related work off your main everyday workspaces. We use Nerf guns. It is next to the bed currently because I put a bench in front of my altar, and the cat, in order to get my attention, if I don't wake up when he comes to wake me up, he will knock stuff onto the floor. Thankfully, he hasn't touched the altar itself. He just knocks down stuff around the altar, which is usually my beauty stuff or like my Florida water, stuff like that. Rose water. Deodorant. A separate altar also keeps potentially inedible materials away from places where food is prepared. And finally, it keeps things such as smoldering incense or burning candles and oil lamps safely out of harm's way. There's no rule that stipulates there can be only one such place per kitchen or home either. If you want to set up 2 or more, do it. If you create a physical representation of the spiritual heart of your home, adding a kitchen shrine doesn't take away from that physical heart. Designing your shrine. Well, that's a thought. There are things to consider when you design a kitchen shrine or altar. First of all, the location should be somewhere accessible, yet out of the way in order to protect the objects upon it. There's a lot of activity in the kitchen, and you don't want your shrine area to be continually disturbed. There are also the safety issues previously mentioned. Places where you can consider using include... My friend's cat kept leaping onto her altar to the point where she had to move it. Yep. Sometimes that's a sign that it's a familiar. Sometimes it's just annoying. Please don't be destructive on my altar, please. Pretty please. So, above the door frame, a narrow shelf is ideal, which I could probably do. A wall shelf, a series of narrow shelves running about a foot below the ceiling, plate rails, for example. On the back of the stove, along the top of the back plate, you may need to set up a board on top of it to provide a wider surface. And remember that if your fuses are located there, the shrine and its contents will have to be moved to access them. In hanging baskets, the wire or wicker, the 3-tiered baskets make an interesting multi-level shrine. My dear friend, Madame Ansa, she has like a space, the space above the sink that has a window, and then she's got 3 shelves or 4 shelves. 4 shelves that she has set up to be kitchen shrine. And I think it's awesome. And it's a very 50s kitchen. So it's got like a booth and like nook sort of situation. Hanging baskets are, mwah, yeah. Hey doll. Mine is in a basket turned sideways and hung above the pantry door. That's cool. In a hanging pot rack, you can place bunches of dried flowers and other natural objects on top. Here are some suggestions for items you may wish to include on your shrine or altar. Something to represent your connection to your ancestors. Something to represent your household or hearth spirits. Something to represent a hearth deity with whom you have a special connection or resonance, cultural or otherwise. And something to represent the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water, or simply fire as a symbol of the spiritual hearth. Oh, it's 56 minutes in. We can create images for our shrine tomorrow. The mint in this project is associated with abundance. The lavender is associated with peace. The cloves are associated with purification. The basil is harmonious, domestic management. The rosemary is associated with protection. Interesting. I too love nooks. I have a nook in my kitchen as well. It doesn't have a booth, but it has a wooden table, wooden chairs. My dad used it as a workbench when I was young, so it's got like chunks in it from when he was grommeting leather. So it's seen some love. Currently, there are 2 battery-operated candles in my shrine for fire, but nothing else because it's the dead season. I also hang my herbs to dry from it. Cool. I will have to think about where or how I would do a shrine in the kitchen. And he wants to replace the cabinetry like super soon. So I need to contact a contractor friend today to see what is affordable and what is doable and who we should talk to. Let's see. Should I do the talk out at this point? The only other shrine I have in the house is to Biscotti, our cat who passed away. Oh. I am mid-vanity makeover for my bedroom shrine. Cool. One of my favorite things about this kitchen, even though it sucks, is the windowsills. I have a bunch of succulents, my sprouting rosemary, a rock from the mountains, my mortar and pestles, and my powdered cat, because her ashes are on a shelf with a statue of Bast. My small collection of salt and pepper shakers, and I have my grandma's rosary hanging up next to the window. It's the closest I come to a shrine. That sounds like enough of a shrine to me. It does. Like, if you want to think of that as your shrine, go right ahead. Thought you had a Biscotti shrine at first, and then I thought you put Biscotti on your shrine. That I initially thought that as well. Okay. If you liked this video at any point, please hit the like button. If you would like to see what the rest of this book is like, we'll talk about kitchen decorations, basically, like what kind of makes like a little something to go inside the thingy. StreamYard just keeps like pop-bump, pop-bump. Speaking of kitchens, my workday is over and done. Time to cook dinner. See you around, Brianna. Katerina, that is funny. We never called her Biscotti. She was Sketty. So it's a Sketty shrine. In my kitchen, I have a little ancestor shrine in my office. A built-in corner cabinet with my antiques collection, some sentimental items, and pictures of my grandmas, and a cross and an angel figure. Cool. And you say you're not a witch. What? What? Anyway, you can ring that bell just on the off chance that it'll actually tell you when I do stuff. And I'll probably see you guys on the flip side. Bye, folks.